major ruling today from the Supreme Court on the Texas abortion law. The court allowing the law to stay in effect for now, but it also gave abortion providers the green light to sue and challenge it. The Texas law bans most abortions after about 6 weeks into a pregnancy, no exceptions for rape or incest.
As we watch the Supreme Court make decisions on the abortion front, there are many in America who are claiming that it will jeopardize the legal standing of Roe versus Wade. This landmark case regarding whether and to what extent abortion should be legal has prompted a national debate that has raged ever since it was decided. In 1973, with the court's 7-2 ruling, it was decided that a woman's right to privacy included a right to choose whether or not to have an abortion. But it also ruled that this right is not absolute and must be balanced against certain governmental interests of protecting human health. However, pro-life advocates correctly point out that the hypocrisy lies in the fact that when a baby is terminated, it is their God-given rights that are being infringed upon. Now, as a Christian, we have to recognize the Father's heart on the preciousness of human life. Psalm 8:4 says, "What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit or care for him?" And this life clearly begins before physical birth. Look at what God declared to the prophet Jeremiah. In Jeremiah 1:5a, it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you." In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court just upheld Texas SB 8, or heartbeat law, which seems to favor the idea of these two verses. Now, we can argue all day long about the feelings and emotions that come with this decision, but since I have a degree in science education, I prefer to focus on things that are more fact-based. Let's just look at a basic statistic and focus on it. In the 48 years since the passage of Roe versus Wade, according to the Statista Research Council and most other health organizations, the conservative number of abortions that have been conducted worldwide are 1.5 billion. Most of us cannot fathom that number. So let's break it down. That is about 20% of the world's current population. It is 1,500 millions. If you had $1.5 billion, you could buy 50,000 cars at $30,000 each. If you had $1.5 billion, you could buy 3,750 houses at $400,000 each. If you were to travel 1.5 billion miles, you could fly around the world 60,239 times. And if you were to travel 1.5 billion miles, you could take a round trip to the moon 3,139 times. If you could save $10,000 every single day, then it would only take you 411 years to save 1.5 billion. And if you could live for 1.5 billion minutes, you would live until you were 2,854 years old. Let's look at one last grim statistic. 42% of the people that will die this year will be from abortions. But I want to end focusing on a number that represents hope in Psalm 139, where it says, "For you formed my inward parts, and you covered me in my mother's womb, and I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they are all written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. And when I awake, I am still with you." As someone who is privileged to live in a place where I'm surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, it is mind-blowing to go to the beach and try to fathom this passage. Scientists have estimated that if you assume a grain of sand has an average size, and you calculate how many grains in a teaspoon, and then multiply these grains by all the beaches and deserts in the world, the earth would roughly, and we're speaking very roughly here, contain 7,500,000,000,000,000 grains of sand on it. The idea is that God is consumed with us, including those who are preborn, more than the grains of sand, And that should cause us to quantifiably reason just how much God loves us. Or, to quote Dr. Seuss in Horton Hears a Who, a person is a person, no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now, try. But what if they can't? Who will speak for them? I will. This is Frank from Reasons for Hope. Aloha.